Hello YouTube, today I'm going to be doing an oil change on my ZX-14. Alright, for starters you're going to need, of course you're going to need the oil and the filter. Now for me, what I do is I use a Kawasaki oil filter, and I'll use the Castrol 4T motorcycle oil. You can get this oil at the AutoZone, O'Reilly's. I don't know what kind of auto parts stores you've got around where you're at, but it's about $6 a quart. It's pretty decent. I don't buy into the AMSOIL or the Royal Purple shit because I don't race and I don't ride real hard, so this will work just fine. This stuff works really good. Alright, I'll show you where the filter and the plug is. If you look from the front wheel, of course, while your bike's on the side stand, right underneath here you'll find your oil filter, and then if you make your way around to the side here you can see the oil plug. So they've made this pretty easy. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that off. I've already loosened it, so I'm gonna tighten it back up and show you how I knock it loose when it's already tight. I put a wrench on there. Mine's a 17 millimeter. I don't know what yours is. I'll put my hand on it and I'll hit my hand like that. That's the easiest way to break that loose. Now for the oil filter, I'll use a strap like this, okay? And I'll try to get a better angle, show you how to do that. Okay, this seems to be the best angle I can get on the filter there. I'll show you how to use that strap wrench, whatever you call it. Of course, you can also buy those at your local auto parts store. Mine's for a 1/2-inch drive wrench. Really convenient. Fits just about any oil filter. You can get in tight spaces with it. And as before, I've already loosened this. I just want to show you how to use it. So you put that on, switch your wrench to the off, and just start turning it. I've already broken my oil plug and my oil filter loose. They're not dripping, they're just loose, so I don't have to crank on them while my bike is on the stands. It's a good safety deal there. Okay, front wheel. Make sure you are very careful when you're raising the front wheel up. Make sure it doesn't turn on you. Take your time. Don't get in any hurry. There, we're done. Me, when I change oil, I do the plug first. Still a little snug, but it's loose now. Break the filter loose, let it drain. Looks like my oil is still a little golden brown, which is good. Okay, so I'm going to come around the other side of my bike here, and I'm going to do a visual inspection and make sure that the rubber seal from the old filter is not still on here. Okay, of course, you're going to look at your filter and see as well. It doesn't matter which way you do it. I want to look at where I'm putting the new filter, and I'm going to clean this area around it. Okay, I can see there's nothing in there. There's no debris. Almost done draining my oil. So let me get the new filter and put it on. You'll notice it comes in a bag, which is cool. I'm doing a visual inspection of the new filter. I want to make sure this seal is good. Right? And these people say not to do this with old oil, but I keep my engine in good enough shape to where when I do an oil change, I'm not bothered with that. You want to rub a little bit of oil around this seal here. So it's basically just an O-ring, so it'll seal up and create a tight seal on your bike. And the cars are driving by, of course. So you ask, how tight do you make it? Well, get it to where it seats and turn it about a quarter to a half a turn. Somewhere in there. Oil filters do not have to be extremely tight. Okay? You're using an O-ring. It's not a felt or a cork gasket that needs to be torqued to any sort of specification. Just spin your filter on. When it makes contact with the motor or engine, turn it a quarter to half a turn. I'll put my plug in. Notice I'm not using any Loctite. I'm not doing anything but putting the parts back on the way they are. You don't have to use any of that junk. Please don't. Use a decent oil. Don't buy any generic oil. Use the parts the way you're supposed to. Now I'm going to go ahead and tighten this up while it's on the stand, because the pressure I'm going to put on it to tighten it isn't enough to knock my bike off the stand. Okay, putting the oil in. This is going to be where your fill is, or your fill hole, or your filler cap. This is your sight glass. Okay, you want your motorcycle to be level. If it's not level, you can kind of figure it out, but you don't want it leaning to one side or the other when you are getting your oil levels correct. Now, once again, your filler cap is going to be pretty getting it running. All right. So your oil cap's going to be pretty tight. I'll put a pair of pliers like this on there, and I won't squeeze real hard. I'll put enough pressure to where I can turn it, because I don't want to score my cap. I mean, if you don't care, then go ahead, but I'll loosen that cap a little bit so I can turn it by hand and just take it off. This rubber seal was still on my engine when I took my cap off. Okay, it goes on the cap. So be careful that you don't lose that. You're probably noticing that I wipe everything down because I want cleanliness. Cleanliness is friendliness. Okay, I'm going to start putting oil in. I suggest you have a rag with you.
buy rags like this at Walmart. I mean, you can get everything at Walmart pretty much almost. How I do it is I'll do like this. I'll put the rag in there underneath the oil and just tip it up in there. And once you get it in there, it's not going to leak out. You can squeeze it, make the oil come out faster. Okay. Now this motorcycle holds, in the book it says 4.3 quarts with the filter removed, 4.8 quarts with the engine completely dry. So I'm going to put the rest of the oil in, and when we get to where we're topping it off, we'll crank it up and do that part. Alright, I've got almost 4 quarts in here, and the oil is actually showing full. I want to show you something. Put the cap on. I'm going to crank my bike up. I wish I had 2 cameras, because I would show you what the oil light's going to do as well. I'll just go ahead and tell you. The oil light will come on, the red light, the idiot light, to show that it's low on pressure. And when the filter fills up and the engine builds up its oil pressure, the light will go off. But we're going to see the reduction in the oil there. It's all gone. Where the hell did it go? So don't be fooled when your oil looks full. Don't just take it off the stand and go willy-nilly riding down the road, because you will damage your engine. You always want to start the bike up, any car really, any vehicle, any engine. Start it up, let it pump a little bit of oil through, and then the oil level will go down and you fill it back up. I know my filter's full of oil now, so here we go. Now I started my bike a second time after I got the oil fill back up to the top. Understand that, well, you'll see that the fill line is like the width of my finger, and I don't have real big hands, so it's not an exact science. As long as you're in this area, it's okay. But make sure that your bike is straight vertical, or you will have problems. We hope not, but hell, you might. I'm going to put a little more in there because I like to be more on the safe side. Alright, a quick recap, and then we'll take the bike off the stands on what we need. We didn't need a lot of stuff, so let me show you. Okay, I need a couple beers, a couple rags, 4.3 quarts of oil, 17 millimeter box end wrench is what I used. I have a oil filter strap. It's ratchet driven, 1/2 inch drive. Of course, the filter. This probably would have taken me 10 minutes if I wasn't making this video, but you know, trying to help out. Oh yeah, by the way, you need a pan too, but that should be given. Be careful. Be careful taking your filter off. Some people will stab a filter with a screwdriver. Don't do that stupid crap. Yeah. Quick recap of where everything is. Filter's down in here, down on this side. Plug's down there. Okay. I think I walked around my bike 3 times maybe altogether. Your sight glass is on the right side. Oil fill cap is on the right side. Okay, when you're taking your bike off the stands, you want to do the front first. When you put it on the stands, you do the back first. Do the front second. Going down, you do the front first, the back second.
Okay. Nice and easy.
Now on the back, I will put my side stand down,
And I'll have it up, put it down. That way I can set the bike down and just lean it over on the stand.
simple enough.